There's another vacancy at offensive coordinator, and this time it's with the Ravens. Greg Roman is officially out as Baltimore's OC. In a statement from his agency, Roman said that he is stepping away to pursue other opportunities. That's also been confirmed by our NFL insider, Jonathan Jones. Roman has been Baltimore's OC since 2019. Now, of course, the biggest question mark surrounds the QB position and whether Lamar Jackson returns for another season. Head coach John Harbaugh addressed Roman's departure in a statement saying, quote, "We are grateful for Greg's hard work and abilities, and we wish him and his wonderful family the utmost happiness going forward," end quote. Now, in 4 seasons under Roman, the Ravens offense ranked 1st, 7th, 17th, and 19th in points, 2nd, 19th, 6th, and 16th in yards. Now, keep in mind that 2019 season when they're averaging 33.2 points per game, that was Lamar Jackson's MVP season there in 2019. A lot of questions to be answered for this team between Lamar and the OC position. Head coach John Harbaugh at the podium just moments ago. Let's take a listen.
So I just want to welcome everybody here. Really appreciate everybody coming out. Eric and we're looking forward to doing this and kind of start off the 2023 season in terms of what our hopes are, our vision, where we're planning on going. And with that, I think every ending is a beginning. And where we leave off from the 2022 season and where we begin the 2023 season is really right now. And we've had an opportunity to talk a little bit, and there's a lot of things going on. Things are moving fast, as you all know. But the thing that I feel, and I know Eric feels the same way, I feel great excitement and great hope for what we're heading into, for the challenges in front of us and the opportunities in front of us, because we have a really good football team. And we're kind of on a curve of building this football team right now. We have been on it for about 3 years, I'd say, and putting this thing together. And you can see the pieces coming together. You can see it coming together on the field in terms of scheme and process, personnel, and coaching. And a lot of hard work has gone into it, and I think it's starting to become apparent where we're going. So I'm really excited about it. I know Eric's excited about it, and we're excited for whatever questions you might have. So with that, Eric?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was certainly a disappointing ending to a season, a long season with a lot of different challenges. But we're also excited by, I think, the potential of the offseason, everything that goes along with that. The draft, free agency, it's my favorite time of year. We're excited to start up negotiations again with Lamar Jackson. We're excited to attack this roster to make it the very best it can be in the hopes that, we'll be a championship team at some point. And I want to thank John and the coaches and the players for all the work they did this offseason. We overcame a lot of different adversities along the way. Very proud of the team. It wasn't the ending that we wanted, but as John alluded to, I think we're on the right path.
Question. Eric, you did mention Lamar. What is your confidence level on getting a long-term deal done with Lamar this year?
Well, it certainly takes 2 to tango, but I think Lamar and I have a great relationship. I think we communicate quite often. We spent some time together today, as a matter of fact. We've spoken throughout the season multiple times. And, these negotiations, Jameson, they all happen differently. Ronnie Stanley's contract took about 1.5 years. Mark Andrews' contract took probably 3 or 4 days. We did Roquan's contract over the span of 6 days, over the course of 1 month, basically, is what we did. So they happen in different ways. I wouldn't characterize the percentages of getting any deal done or how long it's going to take, except to say that we'll communicate effectively, we'll be as fair as we can be, and we'll try to hammer out a deal, and hopefully we can get to that point.
John and Eric, you've both said unequivocally that you want Lamar at the center of this team for years to come. Is that as much the case today as it was, say, this time last year?
100%, 200%. There's no question about it. Lamar Jackson is our quarterback. I mean, he's been our quarterback. Everything we've done in terms of building our offense and building our team, how we think in terms of people and put people around him, is based on this incredible young man and his talent, his ability, and his competitiveness. He and I were talking today too, and one of the things about Lamar that to me stands out, he's an incredible competitor. I mean, Lamar Jackson, all he wants to do is win at everything he does. Yeah, he's got a lot of talent. He's a very bright guy. He's got a big heart, but he's just a massive competitor, and that's the kind of guys we want to build this team around, guys that love football and guys that love to compete. So hasn't changed. It'll never change. I've loved Lamar. Eric loves Lamar, and it's not going to change in the future. So, I don't know anything about the details of the whole thing, but I know one thing. I'm like all the fans out there and everybody else. I'll have my fingers crossed and my toes crossed, and I'll be saying prayers. And I have every faith that it's going to get done. And we've got the best people in the world doing it. I mean, Eric DeCosta is nobody better. And Eric wants him here. I want him here. Steve wants him here. And Lamar wants to be here. So it's going to work out.
It will. Except that I just did a Peloton workout.
You are sweating like
Because
crazy.
I can't cool off. I just
You
did
guys see that?
45-minute Peloton workout. Not to do an advertisement for Peloton, but it's no joke.
Hey, John, you guys will learn about the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I did. I did already. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for pointing that out, Who else but Vinny, Of course. I mean, Greg and I spent hours, talking about this, in the last couple days, let alone, every day when you're together for 4 years, the challenges that Eric's talking about, you become really close, as coaches and scouts. And this is something that, is something I think is good. It's an opportunity for him to move in some directions. With the things he accomplished here, we're pretty historical. There are records set here, in the National Football League that are going to stand for a long, long time. So, we're all really proud of those things. And Greg's a great coach, and he did the best he could every single week, every single day. Great family, another great competitor. So, we leave that era kind of, we move into the next era now in terms of our offense. And I did ask Lamar about it, and he will be involved in it. I'll keep him abreast of what's going on, and I'm sure he'll have some input along the way. But I know his focus, like he told me, is going to be on getting himself ready and getting his guys ready, for next season.
John, is there some concern, though, with the business side with Lamar and all the different possibilities, tag, all those different things that we know? Is there some concern as far as attracting an outside person for offensive coordinator, knowing that there is uncertainty with his short-term and long-term status?
I think that's a great question, Luke. And I would say my answer would be no way. This is going to be a highly sought-after job. This is one of the top football coaching jobs in the world. Everybody's going to want this job. So I'm looking forward to getting started, and we're going to have, it won't just be me, it'll be other coaches and scouts involved in it, and we're going to cast a wide net, and we're going to look far and wide and close, and we'll get the best fit for what we're trying to accomplish, and it's going to be a highly qualified candidate.
Eric, in terms of the wide receiver position, the production wasn't, I'm sure, what you guys wanted it to be, and you've been targeting the wide receiver the last few off seasons. Do you plan to change your approach in terms of how you go about filling that position?
Well, it's certainly something we're going to look at. Obviously, this season didn't end up the way we wanted it to. We had some injuries, obviously, with Bate and with Devin. We traded Hollywood last year, so we definitely took on some water this year at that position. We'll continue to look at that, via free agency, the draft, and our role is really to find the best guys that fit our situation. And we hear the fans, we hear you guys with the questions. Certainly, our goal is to build the very best team we can build. And last year, one of our key, I think, missions was to build the offensive line back. And we feel excited about that and the way that we were able to do that in different ways. We think we're very, very close to building a championship team and everything that goes with that. And so we'll do that. We'll do that this offseason. And that'll be through the draft, through free agency, potential trades and things like that. But we will build the best team we can to compete every single week.
Eric, we talked about the extension. We're talking with Lamar Jackson on extension possibility. If it doesn't happen by the tag deadline and you tag him, are you willing to entertain trade offers about Lamar Jackson?
That's something that we're not going to talk about at this point. I talked to Lamar today, as I said, and our focus right now is really to get a long-term deal done. That's our singular focus at this point. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some effort. It's going to take great communication, give and take, but I'm confident that we'll be on the right path to get that done.
Eric, you currently have 5 draft picks and 5 picks upcoming draft. Is that a challenge for you? You're going to try to accumulate more, or are you sort of comfortable going in?
Every draft is different. Ultimately, we'd love to have more picks. I think most years we do. Sometimes what we find is if you have too many picks over a 3 or 4 year span, it's hard for all those guys to make the team and contribute. And I go back, there was a draft many years ago. I think Ozzie had 4 picks, one of our best drafts. I think we took, it might have been McAllister, Brandon Stokely, Evan Mulatalo, and there was one other guy, I think, Jameson, you might know. It was a hell of a draft. It was a hell of a draft. Every single guy contributed right away. And so my goal, my mentality is to take every one of those picks this year and nail every single one of those picks.
There was some speculation toward the end of the year with Lamar getting hurt, not coming to games, having to tweet out. With your conversation with him, did you sense that there was any need to repair this relationship from just a Ravens, the players standpoint?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Our relationship with Lamar, I think, is fantastic every single day. Now, you can say, well, what's it like negotiating? That's a challenge, because that's a business relationship. And there's, anytime you negotiate with anybody, it's not always going to be an easy conversation to have. But that doesn't affect our feelings for each other, or John's feelings for Lamar, the organization's feelings for Lamar every single day, how his teammates team. We all understand this is a business transaction. That's the challenge, really, for a player to represent himself, I think. And we have to keep those two personalities separate, the Lamar Jackson, the agent, versus Lamar Jackson, the player. The player is somebody who I hold in extremely high regard. He's a fantastic competitor, one of the most infectious personalities you'll ever see, one of the most talented players in the league, a truly wonderful person in the community and everything else that he does. So that hasn't changed. That won't change. We'll put our heads together. We'll negotiate a contract. I told Lamar that, hey, this thing has been a burden for both of us. And I said, but when this thing is over, we are going to feel like $1 million. And that's truly how I feel.
If you're just tuning in to CBS Sports HQ, that is Ravens head coach John Harbaugh and GM Eric DeCosta at their end-of-season presser. DeCosta saying, quote, "We are excited to start negotiations with Lamar Jackson," end quote. So some off-season notes for Baltimore here, of course. Lamar Jackson is set to become an unrestricted free agent. The Ravens must place the franchise tag on Jackson by March 7th. They're going to have to choose whether it's an exclusive or non-exclusive tag. Now, that exclusive tag keeps Jackson from negotiating with other teams. DeCosta also saying that the goal is to get a long-term deal with Lamar Jackson.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.